Hi, welcome to my very first video. Dapat noon ko pa ito ginawa no? Di sana marami na sana akong natulungan. It's never too late for someone who wants to share his knowledge to help you guys in coping with your math anxiety. Now, my first topic is about finding the domain and range of a function given its graph. Bakit ito ang napili ko? Kasi in my many years of teaching experience, I've noticed that many students were having difficulty in reading graphs. So, I hope na makatulong itong video na ito ng malaki sa inyo, no? So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, number 1, give the domain and range of the function whose graph is given. Now, again, what is a domain? The domain is the set of all possible values of x, diba? So, finding the domain is just like finding the width of our graph, yung kanyang lapad, no? Now, since the graph is a parabola that opens upward, as it rises, the graph gets wider and wider. Palapad ng palapad yan. Why? Because hindi naman yan pa-vertical, no? Hindi pa-vertical tumataas yan. Palapad siya ng palapad. Now, the arrowheads, no, indicate that it rises indefinitely. Okay? So, sasakupin niya yung lahat ng x natin. So, that makes our domain the set of all real numbers, no? Okay, so how do you write that? In set notation, the set of all x such that x is an element of R. Now, in interval notation, that is from negative infinity up to positive infinity. Okay? Now, for the range naman, kung sa domain ay lapad ang tinitingnan natin, sa range naman tinitingnan natin yung height. Okay? Now, notice that the minimum point of the graph can be found at the vertex of the parabola, which is at negative 1, negative 2. Okay? So, with respect to the y-axis, negative 2 yung ating lowest point. No? Now, again, as it rises indefinitely, makikita natin without bound, that makes our range from negative 2 up to positive infinity. Kasi pataas yan, walang katapusan. No? Okay? So, the range is the set of all y such that y is equal or greater than negative 2. No? Okay? Or, in interval notation, that is from negative 2, it must be bracket, no? Because negative 2 is included, to positive infinity. Okay? That's it. No? Okay, let's go to number 2. Notice that our graph, no, unlike in number 1 where the domain is the set of all real numbers, kung makikita nyo, our graph started from the point negative 3, 0. And it's moving to the right without bound. No? So that makes our domain from negative 3 up to positive infinity. Now, notice that there is an open circle, no, at the point negative 3, 0. Ano ibig sabihin nun? It means that the point negative 3, 0 is not part of the graph. It's not included in our solution. Okay? So, an open circle means not included. Okay? Not included. While the shaded circle means included. Tandaan nyo yan. Importante yan. Ha? Okay? So, again, sabi nga natin, the domain is the set of all real numbers such that x is greater than negative 3. Okay? So, pagka unshaded siya, no? Greater than lang, wala tayong equal. Kung yan shaded, may equal tayo. Because that means negative 3 is part of the solution. Okay? So, in interval notation, you can write that as negative 3 up to positive infinity. Okay? Now, for the range naman, so again, so since sa range, diba, tinitingnan natin yung height ng graph natin. Okay? So, as you can see, our graph started from 0. No? So, the y-coordinate is 0, no, along the x-axis. Remember? So, ang range natin ay from 0, okay, up to positive infinity. Bakit positive infinity? Kasi nga umaakyat yan without bound. Okay? Palapad yan ng palapad. So, walang katapusan na naman yan because of this arrowhead. Okay? So, the range is the set of all y's such that y is greater than 0. Okay, again, walang equal ha, kasi unshaded yan. Or interval notation, that is from 0 up to positive infinity. Okay? Done. Okay, number 3, notice that the graph is moving from negative 2 going continuously to the left and from positive 2 going continuously to the right. So, the only x coordinates that are not part of the graph are the numbers or the coordinates between negative 2 and 2. And therefore, ito lang yung hindi natin kasali sa domain, no? Okay, so how do you write your domain? The domain is the set of all x such that x is equal or less than negative 2 going to the left, or is equal or greater than 2 going to the right. Diba? Okay. Now, for the range naman, notice that the minimum point is 0. Right? Hanggang dito lang ang y natin. Ito yung minimum point natin. And it's moving upward. Okay? And therefore, our range is from 0 up to positive infinity. And therefore, y such that y is equal or greater than 0. Ganyan lang yan kadali. Okay? 4. The graph clearly shows that there's no point on the graph whose x-coordinate is 0. Wala tayong 0 sa x-coordinate natin because of these two open circles, no? Other than that, notice that the graph is moving continuously to the right and to the left, which implies that all the x-coordinates are present in our domain except 0. So, what is our domain? The domain is the set of all x such that x is not equal to 0. Okay? So, lahat ng x-coordinate nandyan, no? 0 lang ang wala. On the other hand, for the range naman, notice that when x is positive or greater than 0 on this side, our range can only be positive 2. Ito lang ang range natin, no? On the other side, when x is less than 0, our range can only be negative 2. And therefore, dalawa lang ang range natin, no? Negative 2 and 2. So, negative 2 and 2. Now, tingnan nyo kung paano ko sinulat ating range, ano? I used braces, no? Instead of parentheses. Why? Ano bang difference when I use parentheses? Ano bang pinagkaiba ng dalawang to? When you use braces, it means that the only elements are negative 2 and 2. Wala tayong elements between negative 2 and 2. Hindi kasali yung numbers between negative 2 and 2. On the other hand, when you use parentheses, it means that the numbers between negative 2 and 2 are included in our solution. For example, yung negative 1, 0, 1, and even the decimals, no, are part of the solutions, no? So, pagka dalawa lang, hindi kasama yung in between, you use braces. Okay? So, that's for number 4. Okay, in number 5, our graph is a semicircle with radius 4. And obviously, the only x-coordinates in our graph are the points between negative 4 and 4. Diba? Ito lang ang lapad ng graph natin. So, that makes our domain the set of all numbers between negative 4 and 4. So that's how you write the domain, no? Between negative 4 and 4. Now for the range, the minimum point of our graph, no, as far as the y-axis is concerned, is 0. That's the minimum point with respect to y-axis. And therefore the range is the set of all y such that y is between 0 and 4. Okay? In interval notation, our domain is from negative 4, 4, and for the range, we have 0 and 4. And that's it. Okay, number 6, our last number. As you can see, the graph is moving from -5 going to the right continuously without bound. So that would make our domain the set of all x such that x is equal or greater than -5. O, di ba? Now, in interval notation, that is equivalent to the bracket -5 up to positive infinity. As for the range, the minimum point of the graph is at the point -3 with respect to the y-axis, di ba? Ito yung minimum point niya. And the graph is moving upward continuously again without bound. So that would make our range the set of all y's such that y is equal or greater than -3. And for the interval notation, bracket -3 up to positive infinity. And we are done. Okay? Okay, I hope na nakatulong tayo kahit na paano. No? So, if you want more videos like this, just like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.